The heat is on in Shanghai. We are in the middle of another wonderful summer. But hot does not bother me. In fact, my favorite hip-hop song is a song called Hot Girls. Now, a hot girl is a girl so beautiful that her beauty is only matched by her incredible intellect. Today, I'm going to find China's first hot girl, Xi Shi, in her birthplace, a place called Juji, in the middle of Zhejiang province. China's first hot girl, who I hear happens to be pretty cool. Hot girls.
Located in the center of Zhejiang province, Juji is a place that indulges visitors in millennia worth of cultural history and a glorious natural landscape. But it's most famous for being the hometown of China's legendary knockout, Xi Shi. From Shanghai, I took the Huhang Expressway over to the Hanjinchu Expressway. The entire journey would take under 3 hours, which is short, but it's hot. So today, I'm going to check my car's fluids.
And when it's hot, body needs fluid. Well, a car is not much different than a body. It also needs fluids. So I am going to check my car's 5 essential fluids. Let's get started. Now, the first fluid, and probably the easiest to understand, is windshield wiper fluid. You've got to have this because everybody wants a clean windshield, right? Now, you also, if you have a modern car, have power steering, and you need power steering fluid to make sure that your car is operating and is functional. Otherwise, you can't steer it. Now, oil, everybody knows you need. And here's where you check the oil. And then we go down to coolant, that all-essential summer fluid. If you don't have coolant, you can't regulate the engine temperature. And if your engine overheats, you've got a big problem. Now, from there, you've also got water. If you have a radiator, you want to keep water in your car. 5 super important fluids to keep your car cool and healthy for summer road trips like this getaway. We're ready to go.
The drive to Juji was gorgeous and smooth. 260 kilometers after my start, and I was in the center of the town where China's most beautiful woman spent her youth. I decided to pay a visit to the temple that pays tribute to Xi Shi and her remarkable life. The temple, first built around 1,200 years ago, doubles as both a temple and a museum, where the curious can learn just how powerful an impact Xi Shi and her legendary allure had on China's history.
Here, I am standing near the very spot where Xi Shi was born. This woman was so beautiful that the Chinese who love metaphorical expression said that she was so beautiful she could make the most glorious fish sink to the bottom of the sea, or the most colorful bird fall from the sky. She was, in a word, an amazing beauty, but her story and how she lived her life may be even more amazing than her face was.
Xi Shi was born a little over 2,500 years ago, during China's spring and autumn period. As a young laundry maiden, her life was not very remarkable. Her parents, too, were common villagers who earned their daily bread through farming and needlework. And from these very modest beginnings, I think it's safe to say that no one expected Xi Shi would one day become the subject of an amazing story, redirect the course of China's history, thus etching her name and her amazing face into immortality.
And what is it that makes the ancient story of Xi Shi so amazing is that her beauty was only surpassed by her humility and her love of country and her willingness to sacrifice for it.
Xi Shi's name might have sunk into oblivion had she not crossed paths with Fan Li at the age of 15. That man totally changed her fate, as well as the fate of her country.
The brilliant prime minister of the Yue Kingdom, Fan Li, was looking for a way to avenge his kingdom's honor against his sworn enemy, the king of the Wu Kingdom. And he found his weapon in one Xi Shi. He found her at the age of 15 and trained her in the arts of spying, espionage, and charm. And his plan worked better than he ever expected, because from the age of 15 to the age of 32, Xi Shi left her home and went to the home of her sworn enemy, the king of Wu, and seduced him. He became so in love with her, he built palaces in honor of her. He stopped worrying about governance. In fact, his kingdom did indeed fall apart. And for those 17 years, Xi Shi left everything, including the man she loved, Fan Li, for the sake of her country.
To save her homeland from disaster and dishonor, Xi Shi, in the flower of her youth, lent her cunning and beauty to her country's cause. Though she lived a life of luxury in the court of the king of Wu, her heart yearned for home, and true love she could never forget. In homage to that extraordinary sacrifice, artists and poets through the ages have paid her and her amazing face broad tribute. But to the folks in Xi Shi's hometown, no piece of artwork, no inscription, is better than this placid temple garden in memoriam.
To many Chinese, Xi Shi is considered the lotus goddess, and her lover, Fan Li, is considered the god of fortune. They certainly had godlike patience. They waited 17 years to be united.
Still ahead, delve into Xi Shi's two greatest love affairs. One with a man, the other with food.
Here's to your next getaway.